I think need to make a distinction in all this between, if you like, remembrance and memorialization. Remembrance of something because you yourself remember it, or you remember the person who's been killed, if we're talking about death in war. And memorialization in the sense of erecting a memorial because what has happened is heroic, the people who have died are heroes, and because they've become part, if you like, of some pantheon. They've acquired a status, they've gone to heaven, or they've become deities almost in their own right. And earlier wars had done much more of the second than of the first. The tendency to want to make those who'd achieved national victories or great victories into heroes because they were part of the cult of the state or of the nation. And in the Napoleonic Wars, we have plenty of war memorials from the Napoleonic Wars, but we don't tend to see them as memorials in the sense in which we see the memorials of the First World War, because they are about the nation, or about the great commander as the hero, Nelson on top of his column, or in the case of France, it's about essentially the remodeling of Paris to convey some of that, rather than about the common soldier. So the shift by 1918 seems to be driven by two things. I mean, one obviously is the impact of democratization, I mean, and the creation of mass armies. That the individual soldier, the common soldier, is as much the hero of 1914-18 as the great commander. Not that I would want to use the word hero, which of course has now become associated with a particular charity in this country, Help for Heroes, and is now used in a way that is so indiscriminate that it ceases to have any real meaning. Plenty of those who serve are not heroes and wouldn't aspire to be heroes and don't see themselves as heroes and wouldn't be insulted by my saying that. They are people who served in the armed forces, and that is exactly how most of those who served as common soldiers, say during the Revolutionary or Napoleonic Wars, would be seen. And when they died in battle, they were buried in mass graves, and nobody tried to mark them. So you didn't become a hero by virtue of dying; you became a hero by virtue of winning, and victory was a very important part of why you became a hero. It's interesting too that what matters is the act of serving rather than necessarily the business of dying. I think it's in Rochester Cathedral. There's a memorial to those who served in the Royal Engineers in the Napoleonic Wars, particularly in the Peninsular War. And it lists all the officers who served, irrespective of whether they lived or died. And so many of these officers have their names up there, although when the memorial went up, they were still alive. And what it does is commemorate their service. And that was quite a frequent pattern from the Napoleonic Wars. By the time you get to the South African War, war memorials are becoming more frequent. I mean, I would see the growth of the war memorial in Britain that names all those who have died in war, a particular feature of the South African War. The difference from the First World War is that they will tend to be listed in rank order. So the most senior is in bigger letters and first, and the most humble private, particularly if your surname begins with W, will be at the bottom of the list.